a satellite has captured something strange melting out of Antarctica's ice sheet. For years now, satellite images have been sent back to us, and these have helped scientists and researchers conduct various research and look into hard-to-reach areas. Some users have noted that various photographs sent back shows what appears to be large structures melting out the ice. One recent image to gain some traction online is this one, which shows what appears to be a large structure that was previously hidden underneath the ice. Using measuring tools, it was soon discovered that the object in question is over a mile long, and also surrounding the object were various smaller objects, with some saying that they looked like trucks or tanks. After these photographs were shared around on social media, people started to put forward their own theories. One person said the following: "It's interesting how these objects are only visible due to the ice melting, and this isn't the first time that we've seen trucks and tanks parked outside these objects. It makes me wonder if they're sent there in order to retrieve something. There's also the possibility that this is part of a rock being exposed by the surrounding ice, but to me it doesn't look like a rock." Others carried on by saying that in recent years a number of strange things have been seen around Antarctica, and it's led users to question why these objects are there. Some have claimed that megalithic structures have also been discovered in the area, while other satellite images show what some have described as strange shapes stuck in the ice. One discovery that has baffled online researchers is the supposed findings of mysterious objects found all across the Antarctic continent. First found by internet theorists, online images have surfaced of large circular shapes hiding within the ice caves and remote areas all across the Antarctic. Further satellite images can also be seen of large outcroppings that many theorists have speculated are possible crashed objects, of which can be seen casting large shadows and patterns. Enthusiasts have also claimed that there's evidence of trapped objects deep within the glacial formations of the icy continent, trapped there and waiting to be uncovered by research teams stationed on the southern continent. Another idea that's gained traction is that there's tests being carried out here, and that they're doing them in Antarctica because of how remote it is, and this led some to say that it helped explain how there's such a large military presence in the area. Others though aren't entirely won over by these images, and have said that what people are seeing is likely rocks, saying that many of these sightings can be explained using pareidolia. This is where our eyes play tricks on us and make us think that something is there when it isn't. As of right now though, users still think that Antarctica is shrouded in mystery, and that it's strange how so many strange objects have been discovered scattered across the icy continent. Scientists have just discovered hidden mountain ranges under Antarctica's ice. The concept of 2.5 miles worth of mountains concealed beneath ice seems like a sci-fi concept, but as it turns out it's very real. A mountain range the size of the European Alps was found in Antarctica with mountains that peak up to 3,000 meters. This new discovery brings into question how the Antarctic ice sheets truly formed. The mountains were first detected in the 1970s by the Soviet scientist Grigory Grabantsev, but aside from the knowledge of their existence, their measurements and length were a mystery. That was until recently. According to the British Antarctic Survey geophysicist Fausto Ferraccioli, when we were out on the ice, we knew there was a potentially elevated region there, but we had no idea what it looked like. We now see that this mountain range is the size of the Alps, but it looks like them too. It has all these fresh-looking peaks and valleys. A team of scientists spent weeks on end in the freezing Antarctic conditions attempting to map the mountain ranges. They labelled the region's highest point as Dome A, with the temperatures getting below minus 30 degrees Celsius or minus 22 degrees Fahrenheit. Special planes with specific magnetic and gravity-sensitive radars had to be used to fly around the ice sheets to give the researchers accurate data about the hidden mountain range, so they could see the actual mountains themselves without the expensive and near impossible venture to get down there themselves. They constructed map reaches over 800 kilometers or 497 miles in length, and reaches widths of 400 kilometers or 248 miles. In comparison to the Antarctic mountains peaking at 3,000 meters, the highest peak of the famous Alps only goes as high as 4,800 meters above sea level. The current scientific theory is that these grand mountains were created due to tectonic plate clashes. However, those should not exist in the Antarctic. Vericoli stated that since Antarctica is ancient pre-Cambrian, there ought to be no mountains there at all. The nucleus of the Gamburtsev Mountains is assumed to be 10 square kilometers east of the Antarctic sheet, which is believed to be the largest ice sheet to exist on the planet. Now, with these brand new findings, the world of Antarctic research has been turned upside down. Vericoli said the following: "But the presence of the peaks and valleys could suggest that the ice sheet formed quickly. We just don't know. Our big challenge now is to dive into the data to get a better understanding of what happened. Alternatively, in accordance with Robin Bell, who works for the University of Columbia, the temperatures at our camps hovered around -30, but 3 kilometers beneath us at the bottom of the ice sheet we saw liquid water in the valleys. The radar data let us know that it was much warmer at the base of the ice sheet." Vericoli believes that this is only the beginning, that there is still much left to uncover about the mystic mountain range that follows the Antarctic ice sheet. Scientists have said they plan to carry out more research on this hidden world that was up until recently completely hidden from our view. The Arizona Department of Transportation recently uploaded some interesting photos, asking people online what they think it could be. The image shows what appears to be a high-tech aircraft, although no further information was provided. They said that the photographs were taken off the I-10 at Citrus, and it didn't take long for people to share their opinions on what it might be. One user said that her husband thinks it might be a new type of drone, but did say that he couldn't explain what the thing in the middle is. Other users said that it might be a Eurofighter or an F-18, but like others they couldn't explain what the strange part in the middle was. Although some suggested that this was something mysterious like a downed aircraft that had been retrieved, most agreed that it was something like a drone, noting that a similar photograph made the rounds on social media back in 2011, when a truck could be seen carrying a strange object in the shape of a disc. The internet lit up with theories about what this object could have been, ranging from reverse-engineered crafts to something that had crash-landed. It turned out though that the object had been rammed, and that it was a drone that would be used and tested on aircraft carriers. It was called the X-47B, and according to the US Navy's official website, is a tailless strike fighter-sized unmanned aircraft developed as part of the US Navy's Unmanned Combat Air System. For decades, researchers into the unknown have been mocked, with the mainstream media and even government officials often debunking any claims of mysterious aircrafts. The irony of all this being that they're the ones who have investigated and spent the most amount of money investigating them. As of lately, many officials have gone on record as talking openly about this topic, something that many researchers thought would never happen. This change in stance has caused some to question whether they might be releasing some more information in regards to the subject. An amateur researcher by the name of Anthony Bragalia requested a Freedom of Information letter in regards to these objects. Anthony penned an open letter to the Defense Intelligence Agency, requesting details on exotic materials. This included debris, sightings and crashes. He said the following: "This could include physical debris recovered by personnel of the Department of Defense as residue, flotsam, shot-off material or crash material from unidentified objects. In the response to this request, the Defense Intelligence Agency shared over 150 pages of information, which included reports on a mysterious memory metal called nitinol, which remembers its original shape when folded. Interestingly, those who have researched famous cases throughout history said that those who were cleaning up the crash site reported picking up thin pieces of material that when crushed would return to its original shape. Anthony said that this document is incredible, and that it proves that the US has retrieved advanced materials from crashes that have extraordinary capabilities. He said the following: "Officials have admitted to holding and testing mysterious debris from these objects. They've been able to learn some things about the materials of construction which hold tremendous promise, as futuristic materials which will change our lives forever." Interestingly, he said that the first Freedom of Information Act request was submitted back in 2017, and said that it took over 3 years for them to reply. He went on to say the following: "The article mentioned that anomalous debris from these objects was being analysed by a private defence contractor. Material evidence has been the focus of my research. My Freedom of Information Act request was very specific, seeking the test results of this debris, not material already known to science." Anthony, like many other researchers, believe that HARP officials have collected debris from crash sites, and those who have looked into the subject have said there's been a handful of crashes over the past few decades. Those who have looked into this have said that these crashes don't happen often, but when they do, one of the first to arrive on the scene is that of government officials. Anthony is interested in the nitinol that was described in the document. He said the following: "The inclusion of advanced technical reports on nitinol is curious. Nitinol is a shaped memory alloy that remembers its original shape when folded, and snaps back seamlessly and instantly. This memory metal characteristic was reported by many witnesses at Roswell. Many researchers have said it's been a long road, but now they feel like they're starting to get answers." One user said the following: "If you want to know about this stuff, you go to the people who are high up. They're the ones who've been investigating these things for over 70 years now, and I can imagine they have a lot of information on these things that's never been released. We already know quite a lot about certain programs that they run. Imagine the stuff we don't know about. What other documents and physical evidence do they have? I feel like it's been slow, but I feel like we're now moving in the right direction. We've already had ex-officials come forward with their testimonies, so I think at this point people are well aware that something is going on. For me though, there's still many unanswered questions. Where are these things coming from? How can they go the speeds they do? How do they change shape? How do they outmaneuver our planes? How do they not make a sound while they're in the sky? Hopefully soon we'll get the answers that we've been patiently waiting for." End quote. So what do you make of these interesting discoveries and announcements? Be sure to leave your questions and answers in the comments section below, and help us to grow this community while working to solve these unexplained mysteries. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos.